Oh my God. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today what I'll be doing is pretty much having a rant about this big ass book right here, House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas, which this is the second book of the series. And let me just say, I like Sarah's books. I love them. It's just, why the hell do they have to be 8 pages long to get to the good shit? All right, let me just calm down real quick. Okay, so as I was reading this, of course, we're with Hunt and we're with Bryce, and, we're with Ethan, who is the brother of Connor, who was also killed along with Danica. And, Hunt and Bryce, they make their relationship more legit, and she proclaims him his mate and whatnot. And, there's some steamy scenes in here, which I do appreciate, if I must say so. But the one thing that really irked me was, there was nothing, there was so much things that was being revealed within this book, but it took forever for them to be revealed. And then we're trying to figure out, okay, so what's really happening? What's the plot of this book? What's the point of this story? And, at the beginning of the book, we're following a girl named Sophie, who is a Thunderbird who, a long time ago passed before she was born. They were supposed to be extinct. They were killed off, right? But then, of course, she just came out of the blue, and she also has a little brother named Emil. And they're trying to get to safety. And they were in, these death camps, and she had rescued him, and she was also an ally with the Opian, which was, Pippa, whatever her name is, was also, control of that, or the head of that, or one of the people that was in Opian. So Sophie was helping them, trying to make sure that Emil got out safely, and, blase, we got to that part. And so Danica comes up again, and I'm like, okay, why do we keep bringing up Danica? Danica is dead. She died. She was killed in the first book. Why is she still being brought up so much? And, I guess there's a connection with Danica and Sophie. And Danica was also, as she was researching other things with the world and stuff like that, with Ringard and all that stuff, she found some information about Sophie. And then Sophie had also found information out about Ringard itself and the Asteri and all their secrets and stuff like that. But it took a while to get to that. So we have the Ophian, we have the Asteri, and oh Lord, I forget who, the Hind. We have the Hind. We have all these people that are trying to find Sophie and trying to find Emil and stuff like that. And then we also have, Bryce trying to get more information about why Danica, kept this secret from her. Because not only did Danica keep that secret from her, she also kept the secret of that she had a mate, Braxton. And we were like, what? She had a mate. And, it added up in Bryce's head, oh yeah, she wasn't having other relations and, for months. And she didn't really pick up on it. Oh, she picked that up, but she didn't pick up the fact that she had a mate that entire time. So we got that. And then out of nowhere, Bryce just proclaims herself as a Danon, which she's taken her father's name, And now as she did that, she didn't realize that she was also proclaiming her as a princess. So now, instead of her name being Bryce Quinlan, she's Bryce Adelaide Danon. And since Hunt Athalar is her mate, he is also a prince. And we also have Rune, who is Bryce's brother, who's also going through things, and he also has this moment of also trying to investigate the Ophian and stuff, and he reaches out to Daybright or whatever, and they're talking to each other in their heads, low-key. And he did not know who she was, and she did not know either of who he was, until there was an event for the Fae and the angels and stuff coming together, because the new governor, Celestina, has her mate Ephraim or whatever. But the Asteri is the ones that had that whole thing together, put that union together, even though she did not love Ephraim, but they did it for her for mating purposes and stuff like that, and also for breeding, pretty much, just sum it all up. And this whole time we find out more about Hypraxia as well, and that Hypraxia is Rune's fiance that he doesn't give a fuck about. And so Hypaxia and Celestina are actually together, but they don't want people to know. So they're low-key, like, meeting each other up, whenever they get a chance to. And, it's a forbidden love, so they keep it a private thing. And the people that found out, was Bryce and Hunt when they were trying to go somewhere so they could, have their time, their moment. Y'all get the gist. And they found that out, and they said they would never tell their secrets, blase, blase. We find out so much about everything. And then you also have the River Queen, who also wants access to Sophie's brother, Emil, because he might be a Thunderbird and have the powers of a Thunderbird, right? So for the River Queen, Therian is the one who's a mer. He has fins and stuff like that, where he is pretty much trying to find out more information about it. So they all are pretty much allies. They have created their own pack and trying to figure everything out. But it didn't get straight to the point. It was very annoying. So I rated it a 3.5 out of 5 stars for this book. Just because I was going to give it a 2 until I got to the ending. I was so close until it got to the ending, but we'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, it was just so long. It kept dragging. There was a reveal after another reveal, and then another reveal, and after another reveal. And I'm like, okay, so what's the whole point? You need to wrap this up, Sarah. You need to wrap it up, like, real quick, because I'm I'm getting annoyed, and I might just DNF this fucking book. But but out of all that, trying to figure out this and that, and this and that, and Reapers, and how she has this sword, and how she was able to kill a Reaper, and all that good stuff, Bryce eventually finds out the Asteri have taken the people, like the Fae and the, like, demon, like all the people that are in Rheingard, Luthien, whatever. They've taken them from other worlds and put them in this one area to pretty much, it's like a farm. So they had all of these powerful people in one city alone, and they're like secretly sucking up everybody's power for themselves in order to survive, in order to sustain themselves. And Bryce found that out, and she's like, wow. So, she realized that, the Fae were not, originally from Rheingard and stuff like that, but she had no idea that the Asteri are the reasons why they're in this one city, amongst so many people, amongst so many like wolves and viperous and mers and angels and all that good stuff, and it made sense. And I'm like, okay, so is this like a sci-fi? Because it's like low-key, because she's like, they came from different worlds and they put them all in one little place. And so behind all that, Regulus, who's also an Asteri, is the corporate of it, along with the whole Asteri is a group of them. You get the gist. And remember when I told you about how Rune was talking to someone named Day, and he was considered Knight? That was like their little code names or whatever. It was cute. She knows who he is, but he doesn't know who she is until that time when they go to the Asteri to pretty much uncover the secrets and the truth, because that's what they wanted. They wanted to find out the truth of everything. And he finds out that the Hind, Lydia, is Day, and that's Hypaxia's sister. And I'm like, whoa. Okay, but it makes sense. I literally, as I was reading, and they were talking, and Rune was talking to Day, and Day was talking to, Ruin, aka Knight. I'm like, who is this person? How do they have all this information? There's somebody on the inside, and I cannot pinpoint their name of who it is, because that they have their intelligence of having all this information about Emil and Sophie, legit specifics of stuff. Obviously they're in the inside of some major organization, which is the Asteri. So it all made sense. But then also Ethan, who is also, was banished from his pack from Lord, what's her name is? I don't even remember her name. Was Sabine, because Sabine was Danica's mom, or is Danica's mom. And Ethan, after Danica was killed and stuff, Ethan was kicked out and banished and whatnot. And so, it was a reveal that Ethan had a thing for Bryce for a while. He just never said anything, but it's okay. And he really wants to go back to his pack. He really wants to do that, but he can't do it as Sabine is the ruler of, of the wolves, right? And then out of nowhere, he finds a Fendir, who is another heir that can overthrow Sabine. And she's in this tank, and And they never really say how, why she was in the tank, who put her in there specifically, if I'm not mistaken. So now he's trying to save her. But then as he's trying to save her, you have Bryce, you have Hunt, you have Braxton, who was Danica's mate. You have Cormac, who was supposedly, Cormac is a whole nother person. I'm getting ahead of myself. So Cormac is Rune's cousin. And Rune's dad and Bryce's dad, even though she doesn't claim him, he's trying to have her at the beginning, like, this is your fiance. This is who you're going to be with. So Cormac and Bryce. And Bryce is like, I ain't having that. I ain't having that. And that's why the whole mate thing comes together. And that's how Hunt is now a prince. And you have Bryce now officially a princess. Starlight, whatever. So you have that. But anyways, so they go to the Stary. They find out all this information about the Stary and how they brought all these people and put them all together in one city. And so they get caught. And she has no choice but to escape and teleport, which she finds out in this book that she can teleport like Cormac. So she's training her teleportation and stuff like that. And in the time when she needs it, she does do so. But she leaves everybody else behind in the discretion of the Asteri, which they will torture Hunt and also probably torture Rune or kill him. We really don't know. It just leaves it off like that. But at the very end, now this is when I said, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Like, okay, I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Like, it literally changed my mind about my ratings. So she goes to this world. She's trying to find the princes. She's trying to find Adis or whatever, to the princes of hell, so that because they're the only ones that that defeated the Stary, and we're the only people that defeated the Stary, and the Stary didn't overpower them or overrule them or overthrow them. So their world was still, was still there. It wasn't, a threat or wasn't conquered or nothing by the Asteri whatsoever. They defeated the Asteri. So she's thinking she's in hell. But then she sees a person with wings and she realizes that he's a fae. And she's trying to get them to understand, like, hey, I need to talk to Adis. I need to talk to Prince Hadis. Where is he at? Where is he at, right? Where is he at? And, she realizes that he doesn't understand. So he ends up taking her somewhere else. And she ends up finding other fae people, in front of her. And so she's like, okay, I need to talk in the ancestral fae language, which no one really talks, speaks anymore. And she said who she was. And then guess who comes up? Guess what world she's in? And he introduces himself. Just guess. Just guess. She's in Valaris. And he said, hey, hello, my name is Ryzan. And I'm like, what the fuck? Oh my God. So it's connected. I'm like, oh my God. Like I seen videos all over BookTube about how these worlds are connected. Now it makes fucking sense. And I'm like, oh wow. Oh my God. Yep, I was like, oh, all right. It went from a 2 to a 3.5 for the rating, because I did not see that coming. So she thought she was in hell, but she's in Valaris with Ryzan. I'm like, what? And oh my God. When I read that, I'm like, OMG. It literally, I'll read the passage. It says, Bryce glanced from the tattooed female to the beautiful male at her side, which is Farah. They both possess an air of quiet, gentle authority. The others all seemed to wait for their cues. So Bryce addressed the two of them as she lifted her chin. My name is Bryce Quinlan. The male stepped forward, tucking in his wings. He smiled slightly and said in the old language in a voice like glorious night, hello, Bryce Quinlan. My name is Ryzan. And I'm like, I'm done. I did not see that coming. This is what I've been waiting for the entire book. And I think that's what annoyed me so much, because nothing happened. Nothing happened. I was 50% in this mother and nothing happened. I'm like, all right, I'm about to just give up. But I was like, no, I shouldn't. I need to just continue on. And this is what happens. And I'm like, okay, Sarah, you could have shortened this book up just a tad, because there was some stuff that we didn't even really care about. You know, we wanted to get to the good stuff, right? Like the steamy parts, of course, we all here for that. But then the plot, you know, you could have had Roseanne introduced somewhere, you know, closer, you know, or just, you know, had less pages, made it to like maybe 500 or even 600, but you gave us 800 fucking pages. So it's like, what the fuck? But anyways, sorry. I'm ranting and I'm sorry. But anyways, that's why I gave it a 3.5, because now it all makes sense. The Valeris, Roseanne, all this makes sense. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, all right, I guess all those hours that I felt like I wasted was worth it. But I will, like I said, like at 50% of the book, I'm like, all right, I'm 50% in and nothing's happening. So what's the point? Like, I literally have ranted on my reading sprints, on others' reading sprints, on how I felt about the book. But now, you know, my mind's changed just a tad because of the ending. The ending of the book, because now I cannot wait for the third book for this, because we're going to get to Farrah and Roseanne and stuff like that. And oh my gosh, I have a feeling it's going to be good. It's going to be better than this book, which I hope it does, because it was very bland in the pretty much majority of this book until the ending, where it got good and there was a lot of action happening. But yeah, so I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. This is my little rant. Like I said, like it's very dull and bland at the beginning, like the 50% of the page, like 50% of the book overall. And there's nothing really happening except some small reveals now and then. And, you know, some steamy scenes, which, like I said, we're all here for that, right? We're all here for that. Because she's known, you know, Sarah's known for that. But yeah, the ending got me. And now I need the third book now. I need it like right now. But anyway, so that is my rant. If y'all read, I know it's spoilery, but I'll make sure that I have it, you know, in the title that there's spoilers, and it's a rant. But thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you pick up this book, even though it might be a waste of your time for a few hours, but it's worth it to the end. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Also hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya.